Prepper King back to you with another informational video on the Prepper King channel. I'm the Prepper King. Thank you, my loyal subjects, for joining me for another informational video here today. Like I said, I'm on semi-retirement. I'll be coming to you with a video more often, and I love doing videos about prepping because I try to warn people what's out there and what's coming up. Today we had Prepper News Day, so in Prepper News today, some of you might have heard already about the Tyson food plant closing down in Jocelyn. The thing is about this is very concerning because this plant processed 3,000 heads of cattle a day, which is like 1 million heads of cattle a year. Okay. I know what Tyson is doing. They are trying to. They did lay off a bunch of people in Amarillo. They cut down operations in there, and they're thinking they'll make it up in the Jocelyn shut down and consolidate. Don't think that Tyson Foods in trouble. They have a very diverse portfolio. So meat is their biggest one, but as far as beef, is their biggest one, but they are very diverse, and they make a lot of money. The CEO's got big bonuses and all that. So, but in Jocelyn, they laid off the people right after their shift, thousands of workers, and the thing about this is it's going to affect everybody. And let me tell you why. First of all, ranchers have to ship their cattle. Now they have to ship their cattle 160 miles away in some instances, if not more. So, hey, cows are heavy, right? So the longer you have to have a head of cattle go to travel, the more it costs the rancher because they have to pay for freight. In the meantime, the cattle get weighed when they get to the processing plant, and they lose poundage on their trip. Cows eat like crazy, folks. Steer eat. They eat a lot of, they keep up their weight. They eat. They get cramped on a train car, and they can't move around, and they'll give them a little bit of hay and a thing, but they will still lose weight on the way to processing. So what this means is we're going to have higher beef prices because of it. Not only are we at a historic low for how many cattle are out there now, it's a historic low, that with this plant closing, you're going to see higher beef prices. So look at alternatives to beef in the future. It seems like our food supply is under major pressures, And I know the CDC and all that are having trouble keeping up with all the different cyclosporia that's going out, and lettuce and vegetables, and now the alfalfa sprouts with not Ebola, we'll talk about that, but E. coli, and they can't keep up. There's so much stuff. Sanitation. And I always implore to you as a prepper to get a good sanitation plan, because this is what is happening with our food supply. It's getting contaminated. These fields in Mexico, who knows what goes on there? You gotta go. Where are you gonna go? You gonna go to a little outhouse they have to go over there, but are you gonna do it in the field and squat down and nobody's looking at you? And what happens to that? So, think about that. But get ready for higher beef prices, and that's just inevitable. And do your due diligence in prepping about beef. The Keystone cans, of beef that they have out there, which I have a lot of that, and it lasts for a very, very long time. Don't think it's ever, goes bad. As long as that can is sealed. And you saw my last video that I came out with, and I was in, one of my prepper areas, my storage areas, and I know the quality of the video wasn't good because of the fact that, I was in a dark, cool room. And that's what you need to store your stuff at. It will last a very long time. It's very susceptible to light. You would be, if a lot of light is there, you want your storage area to be completely dark. You want it cool, and you want, while the power is on, to keep it humidified or dehumidified. because you need an equilibrium in how you keep your food. Because if that goes away and you got too much light, what happens to potatoes when you have a potato out in light? It turns green, and becomes toxic. You shouldn't eat it after it becomes green. So learn how to store food. And I'm sorry about the quality of that last video, and go check it out because it's very interesting. But back to the prepper news today. This whole thing with the cattle, you're going to see higher and higher prices. You know, and I am a person that voted for Donald Trump. I'm going to let you know about it. I don't like the way things are going right now. I'll be the first one to admit that. I would probably still vote for him because there is nobody left to vote for. I mean, look at who's out there. You know, on the other side, there's nobody there. You know, maybe a J.D. Vance or a Rubio, I think, would be a better way to go. I don't know, but I'm not a socialist person at all. You know, and I am a capitalist, and capitalist system is the best. We become the biggest and strongest country for no reason. But we are not responsible in our government and how we handle our economy and how we handle our money. Like, if you're a business, you learn how to handle your money, what you can pay for, what you can't pay for. Our government has lost track of that, and you know it, and I know it, and the last video will tell you all about it. But, you know, you spend beyond your means, this is what's going to happen. And that's another thing that I want to talk to you about today. What happens when you have a complete economic breakdown? And we're there. We are there right now. And you're going to find out firsthand. So make sure you get your all your stuff in order. If you find something at the store on sale, buy an extra one. You know, buy an extra one, that's for sure. If you have a bicycle, drive to get yourself something to clip on the back. If you can make it up to the store, ride a bike. Not only you get exercise, you can put the stuff in one of those. They have those little kid carriers in the back of your bike. You got an e-bike or whatever, use that to go to the store instead of using your car. Even that little bit, you know, will save you some money. On the other hand, let's talk about Ebola. Another thing that you don't hear about the news at all right now, there is a huge outbreak in the Congo right now of Ebola. Thousands of people have died. A doctor contracted Ebola and brought it back to Germany. They isolated him right away. The thing with Ebola is, it is the most miserable way to die ever, first of all. Second of all, it doesn't transfer to person without contact. I mean, physical contact. It goes through saliva, though. So if you kiss somebody with Ebola, you know, you're probably going to get Ebola. Through blood, through sex, through different things, you can get Ebola. But what's to say with the sanitary conditions in the Congo, the cramped conditions, people getting treated in tents, that this can't mutate and turn into something that's way more transmissible? You know, and I know our country is good at, you know, if someone from one of our people came over here, flew over here and had Ebola, we can isolate now and make sure that it doesn't spread. Like, you know, some people will get it, but they'll be able to isolate it and stop it in its tracks. But not if it mutates. Not if it mutates, folks. And it can do that. It can mutate. So just something else out there that you really got to know that might be down the pipeline that you better get ready for. So I also wanted to talk to you today about how I think this whole thing is going to end with the bond market. It's going to eventually come to a head, and it's here now. You can only throw so much money at it, and you got to get ready. Because I remember the 2008 thing. This is going to be worse. This is Great Depression type stuff. And you really got to get ready for it. And the reason I'm behind the bar today in my ranch here, and I wanted to show you, I don't drink alcohol no more. I quit drinking alcohol. I do sell it. You know, I own a restaurant, but I found out that when you get to a certain age that it doesn't really do anything for you. And I am not coming down with anybody that does drink alcohol. I sell it, and it's not a big deal to me. But I think you should have in your preps, even though I do keep alcohol in the house, I wouldn't let anybody know that I have alcohol because, I know I've seen alcoholics and I know how they are. I mean, if there's a situation where you have a grid down situation and there's panic around and you're an alcoholic and you have this addiction, they'll do anything to get it. And you don't want to be a target. You don't want to put a target on your back knowing that they've been to your house and they saw all that alcohol there. So make sure that you tell everybody you don't drink alcohol at all. Be more refined in the way you let loose of what's going on in your own abode when it comes to prepping. But anywho's, I wanted to show you today that I keep on hand, and you should too. It's relatively cheap. This here, these 3/5 probably equals like 5 gallons of vodka. Just in this. Grain alcohol. This is like molten lava when it comes to drinking, okay? 175 to 180 proof, okay? So you can use it for more than just drinking. If you do drink, it wouldn't take very much of this into some lemonade to make your drink. You get like 3 gallons of vodka for one of these. So now you're not taking up as much room. But the main thing is you can do it for more than just drinking. You can use it to sanitize a cut, just like isopropyl alcohol. It's very potent. And you can use it for fire. You can use this in an alcohol stove, and it works tremendously. You put this in 2 ounces of this, and you put it in the alcohol stove, will last, a few cookings at least. You snuff it out, and you can reuse it, and you have plenty of alcohol in this compact thing to run an alcohol stove. And I have a video on an alcohol stove in my lineup on my channel, so go and check that one out. But anywho's, I wanted to come to you today on this beautiful Sunday here in Michigan. It's 76 degrees. I feel sorry for anybody out there right now. Actually, it's like a high of 74 today. Got a cool breeze. I took the dog for a longer walk than I usually do because I just felt it was crisp and clean, and I got invigorated, and I had to come in here and bring a video to you today. So everybody out there that's sweltering in the heat, I don't be envious of me because in the wintertime in here it gets freezing cold. But thank you for joining me today. I am the Prepper King. Like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll be coming with more news on prepping and bring you all different kinds of information, that little tips just like this grain alcohol all the time now. And I am the Prepper King. Like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you on the next one.